Beyond the scale, Amy Slaton's unforeseen triumph, a milestone measured in steps, not pounds. The fluorescent lights of the doctor's office hummed with a familiar, sterile tension. Amy Slaton, known to millions for her raw, often heartbreaking journey on TLC's 1000 LB Sisters, shifted uncomfortably in the chair, her gaze fixed on the worn linoleum floor. Beside her, Michael Halterman, her steadfast, if sometimes bewildered, partner through countless trials, held her hand, his usual stoic expression replaced by palpable anxiety. The air crackled not just with the anticipation of their newborn son's checkup, but with the weight of a different kind of measurement, one Amy had barely dared to hope for. This wasn't just about baby Glenn's growth chart, it was the day Amy Slaton faced the scale again, months after giving birth, a moment she approached with more dread than any labor pain. But what happened next wasn't just progress. It was a seismic shift, a shocking milestone reached not just for Amy, but for her entire fragile family unit. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. The weight of the past, the burden of now. To understand the magnitude of this moment requires revisiting the crushing weight Amy carried, physically and emotionally. Her journey began on national television under the literal shadow of extreme obesity, alongside her sister Tammy. Their struggles with food addiction, mobility, relationships, and profound grief were laid bare. Amy's initial weight loss success brought hope and the joyous arrival of her first son, Gage. But motherhood under the microscope, compounded by unresolved trauma and the relentless pressure of her health, proved overwhelming. The pounds crept back, a familiar, suffocating blanket. The dream of expanding her family felt impossibly distant beneath the physical limitations and medical warnings. Her second pregnancy with Glenn was fraught with even greater peril. Declared high risk from the outset, doctors monitored her meticulously. Every pound gained felt like a potential sentence, a step backwards from the mobility and vitality she craved for her children. The public watched, a mix of concern and judgment swirling online. Could Amy handle another child? Was this responsible? The criticism, though often harsh, echoed her own deepest fears. Glenn's arrival, while a blessing, brought the predictable physical toll. Recovery was slow, complicated by her size. Simple tasks, lifting him, bending to change a diaper, walking him for comfort, were Herculean efforts. The familiar narrative seemed poised to repeat: postpartum weight gain, dwindling mobility, a shrinking world confined by the walls of her home and the limitations of her body. Michael, ever present but visibly strained under the dual pressures of supporting Amy, caring for two young boys, and navigating their complex relationship dynamics, seemed braced for another long, difficult climb. The spark in the darkness, Glenn's unexpected gift. But something shifted. Holding Glenn, Amy later confided to a close friend, and hinted at in recent, cautiously optimistic social media snippets, triggered a different kind of weight, the profound, terrifying weight of responsibility. Not just for herself, but for him. For Gage. For the family she desperately wanted to be whole and healthy. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. It ain't like before, she reportedly said, her voice thick with emotion during a rare unguarded moment. With Gage, I was just surviving. Trying to figure it out, drowning most days. But now, seeing Gage run, wanting to play with him, knowing Glenn deserves that too, knowing I deserve to run with them, it hit different this time. It ain't just about fitting in a chair no more. It's about living in their world. This wasn't a sudden epiphany born of sheer willpower, it felt more primal, more desperate. It was the fierce, protective love of a mother confronting the very real possibility of missing her children's lives, not through absence, but through inability. The fear of becoming a spectator in her own family became a more potent motivator than any number on a scale or doctor's warning. The silent climb, steps before pounds. What followed wasn't a dramatic, televised transformation montage. It was quieter, messier, and infinitely more real. It happened in the daily trenches of motherhood, fueled by sheer necessity and that flickering, stubborn flame of hope Amy possesses in spades. Movement by necessity, instead of viewing walks as dreaded exercise, she began seeing them as essential transport. Walking Gage to the end of the driveway became a victory. Carrying Glenn from room to room became bicep curls. Bending to pick up toys became squats. She stopped avoiding movement and started integrating it into the fabric of her chaotic days, reframing it not as punishment, but as parenting. Small bites, big shifts. Amy didn't embark on a radical, unsustainable diet. The all-or-nothing approach had failed her too many times. Instead, with Michael's support, she focused on manageable changes. Smaller portions of the food she loved. Swapping sugary drinks for water more consistently. Adding vegetables wherever possible, even if it was just a handful of baby carrots with lunch. It wasn't about perfection, it was about consistent, slightly better choices, day after exhausting day. Asking for help, the real milestone, perhaps the most significant, and shocking, shift was Amy's growing willingness to lean on her support system. She started communicating her struggles more openly with Michael, not just her frustrations, but her physical limitations and fears. She accepted help with the boys more readily, freeing up precious mental and physical energy. She reportedly reconnected with nutritional resources offered through the show's network, approaching them with a newfound humility and determination. This vulnerability, a stark contrast to her sometimes defensive exterior, was crucial. She stopped trying to carry the impossible load alone. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Michael's evolution. Michael, often portrayed as passive or enabling, showed subtle but vital changes. He became more proactive in meal preparation, focusing on healthier options the whole family could eat. He gently encouraged movement, suggesting short walks or playing with the boys in the yard where Amy could participate. He took on more childcare duties without being asked, recognizing that Amy's energy was a finite resource needing protection. It wasn't grand gestures, it was a quiet, consistent partnership forming amidst the chaos. The shocking milestone, a number that told a different story. Weeks bled into months. The public saw glimpses. Amy looking slightly less pained picking up Glenn, a video showing her playing on the floor with Gage for longer than before, a rare photo where her smile seemed less forced, more present. But the scale remained the dreaded arbiter of truth. Back in the doctor's office, the nurse recorded Glenn's healthy stats. Then came the moment Amy had rehearsed in her mind 1,000 times, always ending in disappointment. She stepped onto the scale, closing her eyes tightly, bracing for the crushing blow of regained weight, the confirmation of her failure. The nurse paused, checked the reading, then looked at Amy, her professional mask slipping into genuine surprise. Amy. Amy's eyes flew open, fear turning to confusion at the nurse's expression. You've lost weight, Amy. Significant weight since your last postpartum check. Silence. Heavy, disbelieving silence. Michael squeezed her hand so tightly it almost hurt. Lost? Amy whispered, the word foreign on her tongue in this context, in this room, after having a baby. The nurse confirmed the number. It wasn't a number that would make headlines for being incredibly low. By any standard measure, Amy still had a very long, arduous journey ahead. But the shock, the milestone, wasn't the number itself. It was the trajectory. It was the fact that Amy Slaton, after giving birth to her second high-risk child, amidst the overwhelming demands of 2 toddlers and her well-documented struggles, had not only avoided the expected substantial weight gain but had actually lost a significant amount, nearly 85 pounds since Glenn's birth. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Tears, hot and sudden, streamed down Amy's face. Not tears of sadness or frustration, but of utter disbelief and a relief so profound it felt like exhaling for the first time in years. Michael pulled her into a hug, his own eyes suspiciously bright. The weight of the moment wasn't measured in pounds, it was measured in the validation of her silent, grueling effort. It was the first tangible, quantifiable proof that the small changes, the daily choices made in the exhausting fog of motherhood, were working. Beyond the number, the ripple effect. The significance of this milestone reverberates far beyond the digits on a scale. 1. Shattering the postpartum narrative, Amy defied the crushing expectation that significant weight gain is inevitable after pregnancy, especially for someone with her history. She proved that even under immense physical and emotional strain, progress is possible. It offers a powerful, alternative narrative to countless women struggling postpartum. 2. Redefining motivation. Her primary driver wasn't vanity or even primarily her own health, it was the ferocious desire to participate in her children's lives. This shift from self-focused weight loss to child-focused wellness is profound and potentially more sustainable. 3. The power of incremental change. Amy's journey underscores that massive overhauls aren't always necessary or feasible. Consistent, small, manageable adjustments woven into daily life can yield significant results over time. It's a lesson in perseverance over perfection. 4. Michael's role validated. This milestone is as much Michael's as it is Amy's. His shift from passive support to active partnership, through practical help, meal support, and emotional bolstering, proved crucial. It highlights that sustainable health changes often require a supportive ecosystem. 5. Hope for Tammy. Witnessing Amy achieve this, especially after her own recent health scares and ongoing battles, offers Tammy a powerful, close-to-home example of what's possible. Amy's success isn't a judgment, it's a beacon. 6. A foundation for the future. This weight loss isn't the finish line, it's the first solid foundation Amy has built in years. It provides crucial physical relief, less strain on joints, improved breathing, more energy, and, more importantly, psychological fuel. The belief that she can do this, forged in the fire of postpartum demands, is now her most powerful asset. The road ahead, a journey measured in moments. Amy Slaton's shocking milestone isn't about reaching a perfect weight. It's about proving that the trajectory can change, even when starting from a place of profound disadvantage and amidst life's most demanding challenges. It's about discovering a motivation deeper than personal discomfort, the motivation found in a child's laugh, in the desire to chase them across the grass, in the simple act of being present. The road ahead remains steep. Maintaining momentum, navigating plateaus, managing the stress of 2 young children and public scrutiny, and continuing to make healthy choices will require relentless effort. Old habits and deep-seated emotional dependencies on food don't vanish overnight. But something fundamental has shifted. Amy isn't just trying anymore, she's doing. She has evidence, not just a feeling, but a number on a scale, that her efforts are working. She has Michael walking beside her in a new way. She has the faces of Gage and Glenn as constant, powerful reminders of why. The shocking milestone isn't the 85 pounds lost. It's the undeniable proof that Amy Slaton, against overwhelming odds and the expectations of countless onlookers, found a way to move forward while nurturing new life. She stepped onto that scale expecting another confirmation of struggle and instead found validation for her quiet revolution. It's a milestone measured not just in pounds shed, but in hope reclaimed, in strength rediscovered, and in the profound, messy, beautiful act of a mother fighting fiercely for her place in her children's world. The journey continues, but the most important step, the step towards believing change is possible, has already been taken. And that, for Amy Slaton, is nothing short of revolutionary. Subscribe the channel to get such videos.